Welcome, everyone, to CDO's magazine series of one-on-one interviews with CDOs, data leaders, and key influencers. I'm your host, Robert Lutton, Vice President of Sandhill Consultants, and I'm coming to you today from Toronto, Canada, working with the CDO magazine. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing Jennifer Hohman, who is the Chief Information and Technology Officer at Baker Construction. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. And as I understand it, you'll be speaking at the upcoming Advancing Construction Analytics Conference this April 14th to the 16th, I believe.
I am. I'm excited.
It was interesting when I got asked to do this interview, Jennifer, that, it surprised me, and I'm sure that it may surprise some of our listeners, that when one mentions construction to data folks, I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of folks that may not be aware about how important data is to the construction industry. And as you're going to be speaking at this conference, we thought it'd be worthwhile to ask you what inspired you on Big Construction to participate in this analytics event, and what impact do you hope your session will have on the attendees?
Thank you, Robert. So, let me just speak on behalf of my company first.
Sure.
Baker is an amazing brand in the construction industry. We're a national company that is just really focused on being humble and serving our clients to provide the best concrete construction that we can. And so our interest as a company is to share information, to collaborate, to most importantly, to listen and learn what others are doing so that we can maybe take that back inside and figure out how we can leverage and optimize the things that other people are doing. But also, equally as important, we want to share. We're a company that believes in making the industry better. And so in a low margin business, as we are as a specialty sub, you've got to use your money wisely. And so we think as an industry, if we help the industry and work together, all of us can move forward in a positive way and leverage our learnings, both our successes and our failures. For me personally, Robert, I come from outside of the construction industry, so I'm learning a lot. I come from the oil and gas energy industry, and where it's just so natural for us to share information. And so I'm hoping I could take some of those learnings and build collaboration and community in this space, and just have a damn good time with peers and colleagues as we advance our technology in this industry.
Well, it's certainly going to be a engaging conference, and it's so great to hear that you've got this wonderful brand that you bring into the forefront, and your willingness to share the information. Although, like a lot of organizations, you're caught between rock and a hard place. You've only got so much budget, and you want to be able to understand what's out there, what you can use before, and what mistakes you can learn from, and also what mistakes you guys are making that you can kind of share and say, definitely don't do this. We've done that. It's not the right path.
Or if you're working with those people, try and remember to look at this or do that. So it's a lot of gotchas that definitely the failures are very valuable.
Well, you learn a lot from your failures. Hopefully you'll have wonderful, tremendous success, but still you learn a lot from your failures. Now, I noticed that one of your sessions was on enhancing forecasting using AI. And of course, AI is all the rage at the moment. We think it is making tremendous strides into our day-to-day jobs. But for our listeners, I wonder if you can update us on how you see Baker Construction integrating AI into your workload forecasting. Maybe what lessons, as we talked about lessons, that you can provide that other companies can learn from your experience in using these technologies to improve your productivity.
So, and I'm glad you're saying productivity, because there are 4 things that we are keenly focused on, right? Safety, schedule, quality, and productivity. It's what we call SSQP. And then the productivity piece, we have a platform where we're doing our timekeeping with facial recognition. We've also leveraged the functionality they have in that tool for crew scheduling. And it will also be our place where we do quantities reporting. And so we're just now setting the foundation for a solution, an AI-based solution, or for that particular tool to mature with AI, to look at the data that we have in there around the time, around the schedules of the crews, and around our productivity, our quantities of material and equipment and labor hours, to tell us, hey, if you would have done this a little bit differently here, you would have gained X% efficiencies. Or if you would have think about it this way or scheduled this crew together, they could get it done this fast. And so we're not there yet. We're simply laying the data foundation where we've got the functionality in one solution. We'll open up the AI beast on it someday and make sure that it gets preventative and predictive for us in creating better schedules and crews and optimize there. So to me, it's all about laying the foundation, but it's also doing it at a pace where it's not going to break the piggy bank. And so that's where we think we are now. It's just laying a good foundation for it.
It's great to hear that you're, obviously cost is an issue, right? Because you've got only a certain amount of budget. But the items that you're talking about, which is, cost control and budget optimization, or improving your supply chain with AI, and how you're leveraging the foundations is critical. It certainly sounds like, Jennifer, you're, Baker Construction and you yourself have recognized that there is a need for advancing technology in construction. I wonder if you can tell us how you're looking at balancing innovation with your team's practical on-the-ground challenges, and how you see technology sort of shaping the future of Baker Construction projects, and of course, something you mentioned earlier, client relationships.
For us, and the biggest thing was to get into Baker and understand what the processes were that they use. I think sometimes technology organizations get very corporate-like and central focused, rather than getting down out on the ground and understand how these projects work, how they do certain things. And we're a national company. We have 400 projects going on at a time. So it's really hard sometimes to understand how everybody does things. So the most important thing was for us to map out what people are doing. And so from a pre-con, like what are they doing before we get the work, in an execution place where we call executing the work, what processes they use there, administering that work, and then supporting the people that actually do it. And so we've kind of broken up these categories and then documented the business processes that were out there. And then with that knowledge of understanding what the revenue generating part of the business does, and looking at, okay, where's the biggest bang for our time and our resources to spend? Okay, well, let's look at how much time we spend on crew scheduling. Let's look at how much time we're doing at recording safety events, and analyzing that data. So looking at these key places and looking out then in the industry, in the technology industry, and saying, okay, what AI tools are out there? What solutions are out there that can optimize, make it quicker, make it better, make it faster, and bring value, not only to Baker, but most importantly to our customers, and to the owners that the GCs serve. So that's what we've done, is make sure our technology team understands how the revenue generating part of the business is working, and then ideating with them. Most common, Robert, was what I'm finding is once I've let the operations teams of those guys out on the ground know what we're looking at and some of the emerging digital technology that's out there, they are looking at these trade magazines and information and sharing with their customers, and they come to us with the ideas. Once we've been open to understanding how they do their work and how we can apply this technology to it. So we're looking at things that have to do with legal, looking at contracts. We've looked at obviously using OpenAI with ChatGPT to do some work packaging creation. You can Google that and see what that means. But and most importantly, and keeping the foundation safe with cybersecurity and AI. So there's all kinds of things. I could name lots of things that are going on, but we're very focused on how we improve our safety, improve our schedule, our quality, and our productivity.
Well, that's one of the reasons why we want to obviously highlight the fact that this analytic conference that's in Phoenix, Arizona on the April 14th and 16th. Now, just our last question you got, because I know we only had we do appreciate your time. We know you've got 101 different things is on your schedule. But I understand that you're going to be doing a panel discussion on AI strategies. Mm-hmm. And I understand that you're going to be highlighting the importance of aligning AI with AI initiatives with business goals, which is, I think, probably the number one thing that most people should be doing, is aligning AI initiatives, business goals. From Baker's perspective, Baker Construction's perspective, what critical first steps would you recommend for other companies that may be just beginning their AI journey And I know that you're in the construction sector, but would this apply to other sectors outside it? We'd be interested in your opinion on that.
I think at first it takes baby steps to just teach your humans how to use tools like ChatGPT and just to understand really kind of the power of. Somebody asked me to describe, these large language models, and I kind of described it as it's a librarian, it's an assistant, it's a mathematician, it's all these different roles all rolled up in one. And I think first you just got to get them out there, take away the fear factor of some of the things that have gone on with the AI, notions of, how bad it is or how scary it is. Just let them play a little bit and then let their minds do the walking. And then you do the talking about how we think we can incorporate it into our daily lives. And so I think it's baby steps. I don't, right. I went to an event in the Valley in Palo Alto where an organization had given their entire workforce Copilot. And
Right.
so they realized that the adoption rate was just so low. And so my approach has been the opposite, where we're know some key roles that could benefit from them, like our PEs and our project managers, our legal team. And so we just kind of scattered it in all of the right places where it just made business sense to do. And to me, it's baby steps. Today, I spoke to someone who has a 5-year strategy on AI.
Right.
I wish I was that genius. I can't tell you that I have I don't even know if I have a 2-year roadmap for my own family, much less a 5-year strategy for AI. Because it's
I wonder if
so
you use
changing.
AI. I wonder if you use AI to help them craft their 5-year strategy for AI because
You
it's
can.
that much.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Use that's right. Use AI to create your AI strategy. And that would be an easy search. And so anyways, I just think baby steps and start the mind turning of the people in your organization. That's it. Get their minds turning. They know once they use it a little bit and see the possibilities, they know how it can help them. And you just got to listen. That's the biggest thing is listen to your people and your team. Listen to operations, listen to your people in the center, your corporate functions, and help them along the path. And I think you'll bring yourself to success.
I think you're absolutely right. Baby steps, but also help the people that need the help. I mean, this is critical. If there's people like, as you say, legal. You say, let me show you just in a very simple process how leveraging large language models, you can put this contract in there and search for maybe conditions that would take you hours to hunt down, and it'll find this in seconds. And then you can ask and say, okay, what will be the response on that? When you talk about, what is large language models, it's the whole organization behind you, ready to support you. You just need to know how to ask it the right way. It's, as I say,
it's really not that hard, right?
Yeah.
Talk to it like you're talking to a peer.
Yeah.
I mean, or a colleague. That's what I do. I taught you. This is a good story. I won't go too far into the story, but my husband and I were traveling to go see my son at college, and we drove back through a kind of monument of the Civil War.
Right.
And we literally went to ChatGPT, and we call ours Merle, like Merle Haggard. I don't know why, but and so we were talking to it, and he said, "Hey, we're at this monument. Tell us a little bit." As we were driving through this kind of drivable monument, it was telling us all about this particular monument. And literally, we got to the point at the end where my husband was like, "God, this really makes me sad that this many people died." And Merle started walking my husband into like, "Well, tell me why you're upset and why you're sad."
Oh, really?
It literally became our therapist.
Yeah.
Like a 2-hour conversation. So with Merle. And so I think the sky's the limit with this thing. You just have to know how to talk to it, but talk to it like it's a normal person. That's kind of scary, I think somebody thinks. But you just kind of have to get people over the fear of you seeing something. But it's going to be an amazing, it's going to create amazing solutions to help your business.
I will leave you with this point, Jennifer. We call our integration with ChatGPT, we call it Arti, ARTI. So
Arti.
Our friend Arti. So we'll have a chat with Arti and see what we can come up with.
That's a good European name, Robert. You have a European?
Yeah, I do indeed. But Jennifer, we appreciate your time today. We know it was fast. We certainly hope that we have the chance to have you come back, share your knowledge, what's happening in the sector of construction and data. It's a wonderful sector. I wasn't aware of all the challenges that you guys have got. I definitely now appreciate the kind of, um, you know, environment that you're working with, which is, low margin, but, high dollar value, right?
That's
So
right.
we certainly appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much, Robert. I appreciate your time as well.
You're welcome. And for our listeners, please visit cdomagazine.tech for additional interviews. Thank you.